Why did you want to do Million Dollar Island in the first place?
Um, I've always wanted to do a TV show like this. So for me, Big Brother was always the dream. I remember it so clearly. So it was about a year ago today. I'm sitting in uni. I'm real bored, mate, and I'm on my phone. I'm not doing what I'm meant to do. And I see this Instagram ad, and it's like, "Do you want to go on a TV show and win $1 million?" And I was like, "Yeah, brother, I want to go on a TV show and win $1 million." So just because I was like real bored, real procrastinating, I just sat down, applied for much you do like all the personality questions, you do all the personal details, then they ask you for a 3 minute video of yourself. And I remember thinking, screw that, I'm not doing that, I can't be bothered. So I just left it. They actually emailed me and they were like, "Hey mate, we love the look here. Can you send that video?" And I was like, "Oh shoot, like this is it, eh?" So I sent the video and yeah, rest is history.
What were your expectations? Like, did you think it was going to be like more like Survivor or more like Love Island? And maybe how did those expectations change?
Going in, I had no idea what to expect. So obviously, there's a Netherlands version of the show. I tried watching clips of that, but it's all in Dutch, and I don't speak Dutch. So I was just like, nah. I kind of just went there, just like I'm gonna wing it. I have no idea what to expect. I'm not gonna expect anything. I'm just gonna go there and see what happens. I definitely think though it was a lot harder than I expected. Like I thought, we'd have tents or we'd have somewhere decent to sleep. We'd be getting food. And yeah, it was a big slap in the face realizing that wasn't the case.
Yeah, that's insane. So going into it, who did you bond with immediately that we didn't get to see on camera? Because there's like 100 people, so even remembering everybody's names is difficult.
Yeah. Now the two big ones. There's actually two massive connections. Oh, I guess three actually. Kelly, me and Kelly were like tight knit. There was like one clip of us on the beach on like the first day, but they really cut a lot of the scenes me and Kelly had together. But she's like one of my best friends from the show. Um, Geordie's probably my best mate, full stop. Me and Geordie actually had when we joined camp, so he went to log, he told me to come to log with him. And then Kelly kind of convinced me to stay at Vine. But me and Geordie had kind of like a agreement, like a little alliance that we're gonna keep each other safe. So, I kind of pled his case when Yaz got the wheel spin, and he pled my case when Jonathan got the wheel spin. But me and Jordan are locked in, and I'm so, so proud of him. And then also Harry's the big one. Again, you don't get to see much time of me and Harry together, but we were locked in from the start. And we're still good mates today. Like we still hang out heaps. So shout out to those boys.
Yeah, so I guess you already answered my next question. Like, why did you choose Vine Camp? But you already answered it.
Yeah, I think a couple people have already said there was hotel groups. So, Vine Camp was essentially my hotel group. Geordie was in our hotel group. He was my next door neighbor, and man, we were vibing on the balcony, man. But yeah, I think Geordie kind of got dragged over to log. And then with Harry there as well, like they're both telling me to come to log. And I picked up my bag. I'm walking over, and Kelly was like, "Johnny, like, don't leave us. These are your people." And I just thought to myself, like, this is a game based off friendships. I only know Geordie and Harry in log camp, whereas I know almost everyone in Vine camp. So that's really why I decided to stick there, unfortunately.
So, how shocked were you that Kelly didn't give you her bracelet when she left?
Not shocked. It was premeditated kinda. We discussed it and she knows that, I kinda went into the island super shocked and super rattled. So she knew that giving me the bracelet makes me this massive target and she didn't want to do that. So whereas Brock's someone he's got this massive social game. Brock can handle himself. So she thought, Brock's gonna be able to handle himself with two bracelets early on, whereas I'm gonna kind of get targeted and looked at if I have two immediately. So I wasn't shocked. Like I knew I wasn't gonna get it, and that was a premeditated thing.
Yeah, so obviously with Million Dollar Island, only 6 people can get nominated. So what was your strategy going into the game? And you said that you were like very social, but we really didn't get to see like your social interaction. So can you kind of like describe like your strategy and maybe playing that social game and just being a friendly bloke?
Yeah, man, you didn't get to see my social game, man, but I would kind of play the social game while the cameras weren't on because when the cameras are on, man, like everyone's talking strategy, everyone's talking, oh, what do we think of this? What do we think of that? What are we going to do about this? And I just kind of knew you're not going to get real conversations, real socialization with people while the cameras are around. So I had a massive game plan. First week, stay low. I know I'm a big dude, I'm tall, I'm heavy. I knew the first week I wanted to stay low because everyone who didn't stay low in the first week got put in a challenge and left. Then I just wanted to build social games. So I'd go around the camps, I'd just hang out. Like I'd literally just walk in a top camp and just hang out with them and just chat and help them cook and help them build stuff. I did the same at rock camp before they left. I did the same log camp. Another thing for me was I went through a really rough 2 months before going on the show. So going on the show, I kind of realized that I'm not guaranteed to walk away with money, but I do want to walk away with, life experience and friendships and a bit of life lessons. So it was really good for me. I'm really young. So it was good for me getting to go and just meet people, talk to people, and just learn stuff. So that was kind of my game plan, and it kind of got thrown out the window when D-Day rolled around.
Yeah, so before D-Day goes around, what was it like having that giant feast, being starving for so many days and eating all that food?
Oh, my brother, my brother in Christ, my brother in arms, all my days. Picture this, bruv. We were on like 300 calories a day, bruv. We're pretty hungry, bruv. It's not looking good, bruv. And me, man, I do powerlifting, bro. Like I eat 3 to 3,500 calories a day. I have to. I'm a powerlifter. So
Yes.
going to 300 was brutal. And I know it was only a week till we got the feast, but trust me, man, a week will do things to you, especially when you're not sleeping either. So we could kind of see from the camp there was something going on the beach, and we walk out. There's this massive just breakfast, and I think a lot of people just said to themselves like it's because we've made it a week, like this is a celebration. In my head though, I was like, there's something sus going on, eh? And I wasn't wrong either. But it's so funny, man. Like we sit down and look, I study ex-phys. I know a bit about nutrition, so I was like, if I'm smart. I'm going to be reasonable. I'm only going to eat a few things. I'm only going to eat what I need because otherwise I'm going to get sick and I'm going to regret it. And they pretty much, Ant goes 3, 2, 1, eat. And that just all goes out the door, mate. You see scenes. I'm so glad they didn't show it. You've got a bit with me with pie in this hand and a burrito in this hand. And I'll full on shove the whole burrito in my mouth. And my eyes are in the back of my head. And I remember I've got the eyes in the back of my head. And then I look and there's a camera right in front of me. And I was like, oh, shit. But yeah, it was awesome, mate. I absolutely gorged myself and I loved it.
Yeah, so I talked to Tess and I talked to Titus with the Rock Camp raid. So I'm wondering, did you steal anything from Rock Camp? Because that was unfortunate for Tess, but I thought it was a really funny scene.
See, now it's over. I can spill some tea. If you're gonna steal from Rock Camp, you're not gonna do it while Tess is there. You're not gonna do it while the cameras are around. Did I steal from Rock Camp? Hell yeah. We got so many tins of food. We were smart enough to do it when no one was there, when the cameras weren't around. And everyone goes, oh, I wonder where all those cans of food went.
See, you're smart, unlike Carla and Kylie, who were just yelling at like Titus and all those people from their camp to return the food back. I was like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, funny that, stealing from Tess. No, not on. How dare you? But Geordie steals from Vine Camp later in the episode. Hell yeah, go Geordie. Oh, don't give that food back. Um, yeah, look, hunger does some weird things to you, man. Hey, no hard feelings to anyone on the show though.
Yeah, I interviewed Tess. She's great. But was there anyone that you were shocked that didn't give you a bracelet before maybe D-Day? And then why do you think Vine in general was like struggling so much to get like bracelets? Because y'all had like no power other than Jasmine the one time.
Yeah, we are. We're not looking good, bruv. I don't think there's anyone that I was kind of shocked didn't didn't give me a bracelet. Like a lot of the friendships and connections I built all stayed there. So no one that I really, really connected with left before D-Day, other than Kelly. But I mean, like I said, that was a premeditated thing not to give me the bracelet. And then Sherwin was my hotel mate, but I mean he went out in a challenge. Um, so I'm not really shocked no one gave me a bracelet. Like I was pretty content with that. I also knew that, I lay low and then I knew I could do something in a challenge. So I was pretty keen to do a challenge eventually. I wasn't keen for D-Day. And as for Vine struggling, I think it's a couple things like when Vine members left, we'd keep it within ourselves. So, Annalise got a big pot, Brock got a big pot. They got put in chat. We sucked at challenges. That's just the honest truth. We sucked at challenges like, top camp, Brett was on top. Rock Camp all lost and went home. Log Camp got a whole bunch of bracelets from that camp versus camp. That's why a lot of Log Camp were safe in the one bracelet department. Um, yeah, quite frankly, we just weren't that great at challenges. Love you, Vine Camp.
So here comes the big moment. So Ant says that D-Day is coming. You obviously only have one bracelet. And so do you think if you gave food to Log, you wouldn't get nominated, or do you think it didn't matter? Because regardless, they would have, even if they nominated all of Top Camp, they would have to nominate at least three of you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Two of us, Log Camp had two single bracelets, but Joy Joy didn't go on the D-Day. Yeah, look, at first, when Ant announced D-Day, I think a lot of people they just thought that it just meant everyone with one bracelet just goes home immediately. I said no, I think they're gonna make us compete. Um, oh, again, I don't know what I can and can't say. Maybe I can suggest things. Maybe we tried to give Corey food, and maybe we were told we weren't allowed out of our camp. And then
Oh,
we thought we didn't give them any food. Maybe I don't know. I wasn't there.
because Yasmin told me that she was against it, but I guess that also explains it too.
I don't know, mate. Can't confirm or deny. I didn't say anything.
So how bad and painful was that trivia challenge? Can you kind of talk about like why you were so great at the questions, or was it just kind of like guessing?
Um, yeah. Look, what you saw on the screen was really different to how it actually went. So on screen, I think there was what, 5 questions. We went through about honestly 30. Like I said, mate, I spent the whole 2 weeks before D-Day going into other camps, getting to know people. I go up to people, I say, hey, I'm Johnny, I'm 21, I do this, 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 and I learn about people. So many of those questions I knew just because I'd met people. Um, and yeah, again, they don't show it. I don't want to, I don't want to toot my own horn too bad, but I was well ahead. So pretty much how the challenge actually worked is I think you could get 3 wrong. If you get 1 wrong, you're sweet. You get 2 wrong, it's a bit ooh. You get 3 wrong, now you're really like on the edge. You get that fourth wrong, you get pushed off. So the whole time I was on 1 or 2 wrong, like I was comfy, man. It got down to me and Yasmin. Yasmin's been this position for ages. I'm still comfy. And me and Yasmin were up there alone for like 20 minutes on our own, man. Like there was like 8 questions they asked me and Yasmin. We just kept getting them right, kept getting them right. So Yasmin really did give me a red hot crack. And yeah, like literally Ant was saying, like, Jonti, you are so comfortable, like you dance, like literally, man, I'm up there dancing, I'm waving at everyone, like I'm cheering. I wish they showed that because that was hilarious. Um, while me and Yaz were up there, I got one more wrong. Then I got on the edge, and then I'm like, oh, okay. Like I gotta lock in because I don't want to lose this now. Um, if you look carefully in the episode, what you see, everyone's got their feet really close on the thing. Idiots. I've got my feet spread out like this. And if you look carefully, what I'm doing is I'm sliding 1 foot back at a time. So that way all my weight is on one toe while my other toes are getting a rest, and then I would change it, change it, change it. I couldn't believe no one else was doing that. Like it seemed like such an obvious solution, you know?
Yeah, poor Yasmin looked like she was about to die. But after what is that feeling of winning? I mean, you had a 1 in 10 chance, and your back is literally up against the wall,
Oh, mate.
figuratively and metaphorically, and you win. So what is that like? Because you were celebrating, diving in the water, giving people hugs.
Um, oh God, I'm gonna get emotional, mate. Yeah, so I said to Corey, I don't want to be in D-Day. I got put in D-Day. I was just like, you know what? Okay. 10 people, like I was freaking out, but I kept a level head. And then I actually spoke to Brett. I actually was like, look, Brett, like you've won 2 challenges. Give me some advice. And he gave me some advice, just, keeping a cool head. Don't focus on winning, just focus on lasting, take it one at a time. Um, and so, man, like I'm just watching, it starts with 10, it goes to 9, 8, 7. All of a sudden there's three of us, all of a sudden there's two of us, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, and so I remember they asked the final question. Yaz gets it wrong. I'm like, oh yeah, here it is. And man, as soon as she hit the water, I just lost it, eh? Like I'm screaming. It's so funny. Like you see me take my shirt off and then dive. In the moment, bro, that felt like I've just ripped, flown off, but it looks so slow. Like it looks like I just slowly take it off and just
Yeah.
but look, man, like I said on the show, they cut certain things out. I was there for my grandfather, but also I've put up with bullying my whole life, and I've been told my whole life I'm not worthy of things. Like I've been put down, underestimated. I actually, I'll come back to it, but yeah. So man, winning that challenge was just, I can't describe it, man. Like, Yaz is slowly floating back, and I'm charging, swimming in, and I'm giving everyone hugs. And again, they cut it, but everyone else from all the other camps were cheering me on. Like, all of log camps cheering me, all the top camps cheering me. So when I win, I'm giving all them hugs. And then, oh man, so many. You saw it, bro. Like, I was laughing, and then I just fell to my knees and just started crying. It was the weirdest thing, man. Like, it was such. I'm on all fours. I'm like, because it was like a happy but sad cry. It was like all emotions at once. So it was the best thing. It was the best thing ever, man. Like being the third richest, the third person to crack a yellow bracelet, first from Vine to win something like
Yeah.
to this day is probably the happiest feeling I've ever had. Hey,
I'm surprised you weren't so happy that you didn't try to toss Anne in the water or something like that because you were so elated.
oh my God, I should have, man. I should have come off the thing, picked Ann up, just
That would
just
be
thrown into the
great.
water. Nah, I probably would have died if I did that.
Oh god.
Yeah. Another thing for me, I don't know if Yasmin touched on this or not. So when there was the camp versus camp, we knew a possibility would be that top camp put themselves in, and they had 13 members at the time. So what we had to do was we had to draft like our strongest 13 players, and we had Jack do that for us, and Jack left me out of the strongest 13 in the camp, and that really upset me because I knew that was false. Like I knew I'm a big dude, I'm a smart dude, I'm a kind of fit dude. So I was really upset that he left me out of that. And I actually I won't lie, I'm an emotional dude. I had a cry, and then I pulled my head in and I said, I'm going to prove him wrong. And so winning that challenge was like, here we go, I've done it. Like I said, man, my whole life I've been put down, I've been underestimated. And to have that happen to me again on the island by Jack was just, it hurt, but I knew I've got to do something about it. And so to win that challenge was massive weight lifted off my shoulders, man. Like I'd done it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so she kind of touched on it. She was pissed at him too because she wasn't included in the list either.
Mm.
As far as like that goes, because it wasn't really touched about, do you think like that caused like a lot of animosity? Do you think he quote unquote chose? I mean, there's no way to determine whether somebody's weak or strong, but the physically weaker players to put in. So just in case if they do lose, it's not going to be a huge detriment to your camp, or like what was the deal with that?
Um, I don't know. He kind of tried to have like a bit of everything. So he tried to have, some like Dave was building a lot of stuff, so he put Dave in. He had, Tones and Jeff, just absolute workhorses, had them in. Maddie's a big dude, Doc's a big dude. He put Kia and Sarah in because I think another thing was for Jack, which he actually said to me after D-Day, was he chose people who would put in a lot of effort around camp. So the first week I was really reserved and really shocked. I'm not a survival person, man. So I wasn't really doing much around the camp. I'm off talking to other people. And he felt Yasmin wasn't doing a lot around the camp. I've got all love for Yasmin. Yasmin, I ain't dissing nobody. But that's what he said to me. Like he felt like we weren't putting in effort around camp. Because that's kind of the game Jack played, was really the survival game. It was really camp focused survival, whereas I was of a social game. And hey, at the end of the day, the social game won me D-Day. So
Yeah, I'm with you. I'd be sitting on my ass and trying to find bananas so I wouldn't starve if there was an American version. But were there any like rivalries that we didn't get to see on camera, or maybe any like love connections? I think I heard that Doc and Shannon might have had a thing, but I'm not sure how true that is.
look, man, there's no showers, there's no privacy, there's no toothpaste. Ain't no love connections, bro. We're all gross and dirty. Doc and Shannon was kind of, uh, yeah, nah. Yeah, nah. It was just kind of like, oh, these two, but it wasn't legit, man. I don't think there was any love connections. In terms of rivalries, though, um, I guess they did show the whole Kylie Jack scenario. There was the Carla AJ scenario early on, kind of the everyone AJ scenario. I wasn't the biggest fan of Chelsea, which is kind of funny. But I am now. Shout out to Chelsea, but yeah, at the time I was a bit like, oh, I don't know about this girl. But honestly, I don't really think so. They didn't really touch on the early on. We had like the Dan and Mike thing where Dan's like, if you're gonna put me in that challenge, I want you to go in as well. So there was a bit of just man to man stuff there. But there wasn't too many rivalries, man. At least I think things got a lot more rivalry after I left because that's when it starts getting pointy. But I wasn't there for that, so.
Yeah, so what were your thoughts on the whole Jack and Kylie thing? Because honestly, in this case, I'm Team Jack because it's like your camp is starving. You need to protect your camp, and you can just leave. Like he's not starving people out. You can quit if you're not like feeling up to it. So, what was your whole thoughts on that whole thing?
Um, again, now the show's over, I can say whatever the hell I want to say about my evil game plan. Yeah, look, I was more Team Jack. Look, I see where Kylie's coming from, but it's when she starts using terms like bullying, which again I've put up with bullying my whole life, so I hate hearing that word thrown around like that. But yeah, ultimately you can leave at any time. You had so many bracelets, we had nothing. All we had was food. Before we won that massive box, Jack won. We had piss all food. There was a massive rumor going around. We had food. Top Camp had more food than us. Believe me, I was in there. Um, yeah, so I was pretty like upset at that, especially when they're like, you're not giving us any food, but bro, you put us all up when Jonathan put three of us up against Brett, and then you put us all up for D-Day. So I was a bit like, I don't know about this. Um, to be fair, if I was in Kylie's situation, I was starving, I'd probably not be happy about it. But ultimately, I was more Team Jack. That said, though, I played a social game. I knew that we can give them food and we can save ourselves. So what my plan was to actually steal food from Vine Camp and give it to other camps. The only problem is, Chelsea's not an easily convinced person. Again, Corey, we weren't able to give him any food. We all got put in D-Day and yeah. But yeah, so I'm on Team Jack, but I'm just gonna say it now. The show's over. I had full plans of stealing camp from my own food to save my own ass because ultimately I'm playing $1 Million Island. I'm not playing Team Vine Island.
Well, that's smart, but was there anything that you could have maybe said to Chelsea not to get nominated? Because you mentioned earlier, like during the show, you weren't the biggest fan. Obviously, that's changed now, but was there anything you could have done? And how pissed were you? Because it obviously showed on the show that you did not want to go in. Like you were still feeling it from, I think it was the day before the other challenge. So what was that like?
Oh mate, I was pissed. I used my big boy words. Drop the F bomb. It got blurred out though, but oh my god. I watching that back, I forgot how angry I was. The thing with Chelsea is she's a mentally strong chick. She knew what she wants. There was no convincing her, man. I could have offered Chelsea my firstborn child and, you know, $1 million, and she still would have said, "Nah, I'm putting you in the challenge." Like I said to Chelsea, I pulled her aside, Chelsea, don't put me in. I'm exhausted. Even Corey pulled Chelsea aside and said, "Come on, Chelsea, show the kids some mercy." But there was no convincing Chelsea, man. So it was kind of just bad luck. Like I knew that I had so many connections on that island. Literally, the only connection I didn't have was Chelsea, and I knew she was rogue. I knew she was a little bit crazy. So when Chelsea got the wheels spin after D-Day, there was a 1 in 100 chance that happened. I just immediately thought, oh, I'm screwed. Like, oh, I'm fucked. So yeah, she came into our camp. She pretty much just told us, I'm putting Jonti and one other in. And I tried talking to her, tried all that. She just said, nah. Um, so yeah, because usually you'll do a challenge, then the next day is the survival and elimination, then another challenge. D-Day was all the same day. It was the challenge, then the survival, then the elimination. So the thing is I went to bed late, man. Like we got back to our camp at about 1. I didn't go to bed until about 3. Like I'm so elated and doing interviews and stuff, and then they wake us up at 5 for a COVID test. So man, I'm on 2 hours of sleep. My whole core hurts, my calves hurt, my feet hurts. I was blanked out, man. If you look in the background while I'm doing that challenge, there's bits where I'm just zoning out. Like everyone's cheering on, everyone's celebrating. I'm just sitting there just because I was zoned out, man. But I actually saw another podcast touch on this. I think the biggest mistake I made was I was upset. Like I went there with a crap mind state. That really, that kind of really betrayed me. I wish I went into that challenge a lot more positive and keen and ready because I would have had a better chance. I wish I wasn't upset that she put me up, but I was. And yeah, man, I was pissed. I was swearing. I was like, Chelsea, give me a break. I'm exhausted, man. What the fuck, man? Like, but hey, kudos to Chelsea. Shout out to Chelsea. We're cool now, and good on her. It worked, so I can't hate on that. I would have done the same if I was her.
You like excited that it was a spelling challenge because it wasn't like physically draining, or like what were your thoughts on that? Or were you like pissed because I mean, other than like James, like physically built wise, you looked the strongest.
Oh, cool. I reckon Tony would have been the strongest. No, mate. If you know me, I don't read books. I'm great with maths, man. Like literally in the hotel before, I brought puzzle books, but I don't do the crosswords. I hate crosswords. I do the Sudokus. You know what I mean? I love really good at maths, love numbers, love all that. Horrible with words. So when I realized it was a word challenge, I just thought, oh shit, this is like the one challenge that is gonna knock me out. I remember in the first episode, and Ant's like to Mike, he's like, oh, you're gonna put yourself in the challenge. And Mike's like, as long as it's not a spelling bee. Well, guess who got the spelling bee? It was me, brother. Yeah, so immediately I knew I was screwed. I was like, oh crap, like spelling's not my forte, man. The problem with the spelling challenge is, a lot of the other challenges is you can give 100% effort. And even if you lose, you can be happy that you gave 100% effort. You can't give 100% effort in a word challenge. If you don't know the word, you're an idiot, you're out, you lose. I was devastated. I came close though. If only I'd put Din up. Kudos to Chelsea again. She absolutely deserved it. So good on you, Chelsea. I can't be mad at that.
At least you didn't put up Dur.
Shout out to Geordie. Again, Geordie's one of my best mates, and I give him so much shit about that. I call him Jordan, the concrete.
So, what was your ultimate downfall in the like get a bunch of crabs, make a raft, paddle challenge? Like, what do you think you could have done like differently? And were you like excited for that, or were you like, I'm screwed because Tony's built rafts?
Yeah. Let me tell you something else Jonty can't do. I can't tie knots. I can tie my shoelaces, but I can't tie knots, man. So when I realized what the survivor was, like I'm in my camp trying to learn knots, and I realized, yeah, I'm screwed. I think what actually did me is I didn't have a clear head. So I went there. They had a demo raft they showed us. And so when they said three, two, one, go. So the thing is, Chloe actually told me before the survival. She's a big Survivor fan. She said in an episode of Survivor, there was this big, like 120-kilo dude, and he had to build a raft and he tied together 10 pieces of bamboo and it floated. So when I went into the survival, initially I said I'm gonna do that, like take the surfboard approach like Geordie did. But then I said no, I'm gonna build the raft. So then I tried building the raft over there, and I realized I don't have time. I'm not gonna be able to do this. So then I went back to building the surfboard idea. They actually gave us a time limit. They gave us half an hour to build the raft. And what actually happened that, again, I wish they showed this. Jordan was the only one who finished his raft in the half hour. He actually turned around and helped me finish my raft. So, again, shout out to Jordan. Um, yeah, anyway, they said three, two, one, go. Jordan's the only one finished, so he darted off. And I think, Jordan had a massive head start, which kind of screwed the rest of us. I ended up just finishing my raft, my raft was literally just 10 pieces of bamboo tied together horribly, but it floated, and I've just gone paddle, 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 paddle. Um, I came close, man. I actually dropped a massive crab that probably would have let me go in earlier, but I dropped it and I was Devo. And so I had to stay out a bit longer, and then Geordie beat me in. But like I said, man, like Geordie's one of my best mates. He did not have to help me finish my raft, and he did. So I was stoked for him to win that challenge.
Yeah, so was there any chance of you getting a bracelet from someone after losing, or were you just kind of like resigning yourself of going home at that point?
Yeah, I kinda accepted my fate. I was content, man. Like I'd won a challenge. Like I'd met so many people, I'd learned so many things, learned so much things about myself. I'd gone and won a challenge. Like we got the massive tucker box. I had some awesome meals out of that. Like I was content, man. Like obviously I wanted to win, but like I said, man, like I said to myself about a week in that realistically, I know I'm not guaranteed to win money, but I'm guaranteed to come away with experience and lessons. So I feel like I got all that, and I was pretty content. I've heard since that Joy and Alex were considering giving me a bracelet. And I spoke to Harry, but Harry said, "Look, man, I physically can't quit. That's who I am." And I said, I absolutely respected that. I said, "Mate, I want you to go on and make me proud." So yeah, a couple people, maybe came close, but again, ultimately, I'm not upset. I'm so happy with what I achieved there.
Yeah, so what do you take away from the experience, and do you have any fun behind the scenes stories? Maybe like afterwards, like partying at I don't even know what you would call it, like Million Dollar Island's version of Survivor Ponderosa, where you're just enjoying yourself.
Yeah, look, what I took away from it was just life lessons, man. Like I'm 22 now. I realized just how young I am. I've got so much ahead of me. I don't have to stress about my adult life. Like this is the time of my life I want to enjoy. I don't have to stress too much about love and relationships. I don't have to stress too much about work. Like just enjoy my time, man. And another thing for me was I've always struggled with accepting myself a bit. So going on the island, I just said, I'm just going to be raw, authentic me. I'm not going to put on a character. I'm not going to put on a facade. I'm just going to go there and just be 100% real, authentic Jonti. And everyone loved it. Almost everyone loved it. Chelsea. Yeah, so it was good, man. Like it really built confidence in myself with just being myself. And I've been so stoked with that since. And again, like I said it on the show, like I thank everyone so much for being so loving and so accepting. And like again, when I was in the D-Day challenge and even Log Camp were cheering me on, even though Jason was in the challenge, like that meant so much to me, man. So I took a lot away from the experience. In terms of behind the scenes, again, I'm just thinking what I can and can't say, but we've had so many like meetups, man. Like we're all good mates. Like off the island, there's no drama, there's no rivalries. Like we just hang out, man. Like we've done a whole bunch of meetups in Sydney, and then like me and the boys, like I've got a couple boys, and we've got like our own little group. Titus included. Shout out Titus. Titus looks like Do the Raw kid from Shrek. Shout out Titus. That's my boy. Yeah, man, we just hang out and have fun. Like, it's crazy to me how many friendships I've pulled from this because I did not think I'd pull that many friendships. But and it's like people from all over Australia, and some of them are like in their 30s and 40s, and it's awesome, man. I love it.